Hello students, today we are going to start with the another part of the chapter strategies for the enhancement in food production, that is beekeeping. So what is the meaning of beekeeping? Beekeeping is actually maintenance of beehives for the production of honey, right? So what happen if it comes to the beekeeping? Then we have to maintain the beehive. Beehive means the shelter, okay, shelter of the honeybees for the production of honey. So basically this beekeeping is associated with the production, that is not only honey but also another type of products like the bee wax, then royal jelly, etc. Right? So just see this beekeeping, this is also known as apiculture, right? So this is also known as apiculture. Actually, from where this apiculture word come? See, the generic name of bee, honey bee, is apis. Okay, apis is the generic name. Okay, so from here, this word apis, this is the generic name from where api, this word comes. Okay, so beekeeping is also known as apiculture. Okay. So as we are already have written this apis, this is a generic name. What is the specific name? See, if it comes to the apiculture, then a number of varieties of honeybees are available. Okay, so let us see some of the varieties. Okay, so varieties are apis indica, okay, which is common in India. So not only India, in Asiatic countries, apis indica. Next one is apis mellifera. Okay, this is apis mellifera. Next one is apis dorsata. Okay, and the last one, which is given in your NCERT book, this is apis florea. Okay, so just see in all of the four varieties which one is what actually. First of all, if it is apis indica, it's smaller, right? It is generally found in normal Asiatic climatic condition. Okay, it produce normal 6 kgs of honey per hive. Okay, next one, if it is apis mellifera, this mellifera is actually one European variety. So as it is the European variety, so that's why they cannot they cannot survive, or they cannot adopt this high humid climatic condition of Asiatic countries. So this is apis mellifera, which is normally European, and Italian variety under this apis mellifera. This is very good, and yes, their milk production is also very high. Yes, apis mellifera can be domesticated easily. It is mild, and the production of honey is also very high. Now, if it comes to apis dorsata is the wild honeybee, which actually are migratory also. Migratory means they actually change their beehive from one location to the another location, right? So this apis dorsata, which is not possible to be domesticated, but otherwise their honey production is very much high. If you compare all of these four variety, then apis dorsata is producing very high honey content, high yielding. If it comes to the second group, which is producing also high quantity or high amount of honey, that is apis mellifera. But as it is not surviving, or they cannot adopt in the humid, high temperature climatic conditions, so that's why in India generally apis indica is reared culture. Okay, and Apis florea is the smallest type of honeybee, and their production is also very high. As it is the smallest, their beehive is also small, their honey collection is also small, isn't that? That is small in quantity. And what happened, this is one type of shy type of honeybee, right? So if somehow there is, suppose somehow nearby that area, or somebody suppose somehow suppose thrown one suppose stone, okay, just it is suppose hampered, then they leave that area and go and produce their own beehive another somewhere else. Okay, and their honey production is also very less, it is just 250 grams in one hive. So that's why Apis florea, which is not actually cultured in commercial purpose. Okay, so what is that? Apis indica, which is generally in India we go for suppose beekeeping, then Apis indica is the species which is collected. If it is Apis mellifera, this is one European variety. Okay, this Apis indica, this is one Indian variety, right? Next one, if it is Apis dorsata, this is the wild bee, and it cannot be domesticated. It cannot be domesticated. Okay. Next one, if it is Apis florea, yes, this one is the smallest honeybee, right? It is the smallest honeybee, and the production is also very less. Okay, Apis dorsata production is very high. Apis mellifera, this is also high, but yes, if it is coming to Apis indica, they cannot adopt in the Indian humid climatic condition, and also their production is normal. That means we can go for the beekeeping. For that we have to select Apis indica, we will get good result. Okay. Now to see that what type of products we can get, right? So let us see the products. How many types of products we can generally get from the apiculture, right? So just see, for the product from the honeybee we can collect, it's not only honey. Actually honey is secondary. First one, which is actually very much expensive, what is that? This is bee wax. Okay, so bee wax is produced by the worker bees from their wax gland. So bee wax is actually one type of product which is forming their beehive, which is helping in formation of their beehive. And what happened, this bee wax have a creamy texture, so that's why it is used in the cosmetics, in the other purposes also, for polishing. Okay, so that's why bee wax is also used in many fields. Okay, next one, yes, the royal jelly. Okay, royal jelly is also one type of product we can get. And yes, from the bees we can take the poison also. Okay, that means poison or toxin. Okay, so for lots of diseases like arthritis, this from the stings actually of the worker bees, this poison is collected for the treatment of various diseases like arthritis. Okay, so just see, if it is honey, what is the use of honey? Honey is of good nutritional value. Yes, it is of very good high nutrient value. It is also going to have high medicinal value, right? So just see, this honey have actually, if you go for the content, then honey is going to have around high percentage, more than 50%, around 60% of water. So that's why the pH of honey is nearly neutral, right? It is going to have the content, that is sugary content, that is sucrose. So it is going to convert into dextrose, levulose, glucose, etc. in the honeybee's body, in the digestive system. So it is going to have high nutrient value also, because vitamins are there, different type of minerals are available. So that's why honey is very good. And yes, one thing you need to know, that if you keep honey for thousands of years, then also this honey is not going to get degraded, right? So if you can buy suppose the honey, then honey have not to be preserved or stored in the refrigerator. Okay, it can be in a normal temperature and it is not going to get degraded even for 500 years, 1000 years. Okay, so this is the honey. I will come to that later. Next one, see bee wax, right? So bee wax is used in cosmetics. Okay, next one, it is used in furnishing the different wooden furnitures. Then it is used in polishes. Okay, royal jelly is used for different diseases, like for heart disease. Okay, for heart disease royal jelly is used. And this poison which is extracted from the worker bee's sting, that is actually used for the treatment of some diseases like arthritis. Okay, so these are all about the uses, the products we can collect from the honeybees. Okay, so if it is the beekeeping or apiculture, why one can go for this apiculture? Okay, why one can take this one beekeeping as their profession? Okay, so first thing, it is a cottage industry, right? Cottage industry means which in that industry that can grow in their home. That means nearby your home, if you have a tree, or if you have a tree means if you have garden, we have crop, suppose crop field, then nearby that you can we can have the apiculture, or we can grow, we can rear bees. Okay, it is a cottage industry. So from the human civilization, from that time even this beekeeping apiculture was practiced. Okay, because in that period of time the honeybees only was there from where actually the sweet things, the sugary content was extracted. Okay, so it is a cottage industry. It is not labor intensive, isn't that? That means too much manpower is not needed. Okay, so it is not labor intensive. Okay, third thing, it is also cost effective. That means too much cost it will not take. Okay, if you're thinking for suppose a cloth industry or some type of other industries, you need to have a principal amount, but for beekeeping you need not to have not to expense that much of money. You suppose want to think of suppose other type of industries, you require, as compared to beekeeping, you require a high good value, okay, money wise. So it is also cost effective, right? So these things are very much important, that why one can go and attracted towards beekeeping, because it is a cottage industry. You need not to have 1 acres of one suppose area, so that you can place suppose industries or house, or you don't require manpower. A lot of people have not to be indulged in the beekeeping. One only can go for the beekeeping practice, and then it is also cost effective, because you don't have to waste that much of principal amount. And yes, the products, lots of products we get, isn't that? And once you put that money in the apiculture, then after that you don't have to maintain too much. Okay, you just need to extract the honey, that's all, right? Next one, that if I think suppose to go for apiculture, suppose from this time I am thinking that I need to have one apiculture, I will rear bees, then how many things I need to know? Okay, first of all I need to know the species. So first thing, selection of species is very much important. Like generally randomly I cannot get one species, okay, because all of the species have different characteristics. If I get suppose Apis florea, then that Apis florea is not going to give us that amount of money or that amount of products I wanted to extract, isn't that? Next one, if it is Apis dorsata, also it is not possible. They will fly away and they will make their beehive somewhere else in the rocks or in the tall trees, right? So for first thing that this selection of species is very much important. Okay, first of all, species selection. Okay, species selection is the first and foremost thing. Next one, I need to have good knowledge about the beehive. That means, is it happening that we allow them to construct their house by their own? No. See, in normal apiculture, what happened? There are some wooden blocks or wooden beehives are made. Okay, from where you can allow the queen honeybee, the gravid honeybee, queen honeybee, that is fertilize in the beehive. Suppose it is man-made constructed beehive, then in that she will lay eggs, and after that the new complete one colony will be formed, right? So beehive selection is also very much important, because we need to know what actually does beehive will actually work. Okay, how we need to use that beehive, or man-made beehive we have to collect. Okay, we have to buy first of all beehive nearby my bee or apiculture. Nearby that I need to have the crop field. Okay, crop field or garden. Okay, next one, I need to also have the proper knowledge and idea about handling. Okay, handling of swarms. Okay, what is swarm? Swarms means it is the group of honey. Group of honey is known as swarms. Okay, next one, after that I also need to have the idea how to collect the honey, isn't it? For the collection of honey also. Okay, for the collection of honey I need to have the proper idea, then only it is possible that I can go for a proper successful apiculture, and from where I can extract money. Okay, so these things we have to know. This is just an introduction point. Let us see after that how many points we have to know, think about the apiculture or beekeeping before its commercial production. So let us see that. So just see the points to remember. You have the same lines in the NCERT, that for the successful beekeeping how many things we need to know. Okay, so first of all concentrate on these points. First point, that is the knowledge of the nature and habits of the bees. As already I have mentioned in the previous part, I have already told you that what are the things I need to know before the culture of the honeybees, right? So for the culture of the honeybees, how many things I need to know? First thing, I need to know the nature and habit of the bees. What is the nature of the honeybee? That means, is it the wild? Is it possible that it can be domesticated? How they're surviving? Okay, so this is the nature. Okay, so this nature of the honeybees I need to know. This is the first thing to be remembered. Next one, habits of honeybee. That means what type of food it takes, what type of climatic conditions actually suitable for the honeybees. So that thing I need to keep in my mind before going for the apiculture or rearing of honeybee. Okay, so this is the first point. So exactly this points you have to write if it comes in your exam, that for the successful beekeeping how many things we need to take care of. Okay, so the next one, that is selection of suitable location for beekeeping. Okay, so location is also very much important. It's not like that in the middle of the cities I grow or I start to have the honeybees. Okay, in my home, suppose in the 3rd floor, 4th floor, nearby my house there is no trees or gardens, crops are available, then it is not possible that you can grow the honeybees, right? So for the culture of the honeybees, we need to know that nearby that honeybees, at least within 1 kilometer, within kilometers, we need to have the crop field. Okay, so crop field is must. Otherwise, how or from where the honeybees will collect the nectar, isn't it? From where they will collect the pollen grains, right? So these things we need to know. Next one, the third point you need to know, that this one is catching and hiving of the swarms. Swarms, already I told you what is swarms. Swarms means it's the group of bees. Okay, so group of bees is known as swarms. So how we need to catch, because they are going to sting you, and after that my suppose there is a honeybee suppose sting in my face, then this face is going to swell, right? So we need to have the proper idea how we need to catch, and that's why lots of training centers give the proper knowledge how to catch the honeybees before we go for the honeybee culture. Okay, so catching and hiving of the honeybees also is important. That means how we need to put the honeybees into the artificial hive. So this is one artificial hive I have drawn, so we'll discuss that later. Next one, see the management of the beehives during different seasons. See, season matters, because in season wise, different season wise, the honeybee, they collect the honey from the flowers. So in different seasons, the honeybee's behavior are going to change. And one thing is happening also, that some of the honey cost very high price and some of the honey do not cost that much. What is the reason? Because of the season. Okay, so in that season, suppose a very unique nectared flowers blossom there nearby that place, okay, where we have this hive, then this honey will have superior quality. Okay, and suppose nearby that beehive we don't have that much good crop, then it is not possible that their honey production will be high. Okay, so that's why the seasons are going to be important. In which season they actually collect or produce high quality and also nutritive honey, that thing we need to know. And always think one thing, remember one thing, that the honeybees will always try to live in a cold place. Okay, even if it is Apis indica, what happens, the worker bees, they usually fan their wings. Okay, so wings are going to fling in a very high speed, so that they can make a temperature cool down inside their beehive. So they usually want to live in a cold or a little low temperature area. Okay, so that thing also we have to know. Next thing, that handling and collection of honey and the bee wax. This is also very much important. Suppose we already have all the knowledge about how to keep the suppose honey bee, we have domesticated it inside the beehive, we have properly managed everything, but after that we don't know how to collect honey, so it is going to go in waste, right? So that thing we have to know, that we have to ultimately collect the honey and the bee wax. Okay, without our benefit, we are not going to go for the apiculture or honeybee rearing, isn't that? So we need to have our benefit. So what is the benefit? That is bee wax and the honey. So we need to have the proper idea of the collection of honey and the bee wax. Okay, so these things we need to know, we need to keep in our mind before go for any type of culturing or rearing, breeding of the honeybees, right? One thing we need to know, this is actually not will come under this point, so this point is going to be important. What is that? The bees are the pollinators. Okay, so very much important thing. They are the pollinators of different crop species like sunflower, brassica. Brassica is the oil producing seed. Next one, apple, pear, etc. See, whenever honeybees will go for the collection of the nectar, they are going to take the nectar from the flowers. You know that the flowers are the germinating part of a plant, isn't that? So from the plant, whenever they will collect the nectar in their suppose in their actually fur of their body, abdomen, as well as in the legs, they actually collect the pollen. Okay, and from one flower to the another flower, whenever the honeybee will go and in the collection of the nectar, they actually also transfer the pollen grain from one flower to the next flower of different plants. So obviously it is going to help in pollination, right? So pollination of what type of seeds or what type of crop? They are sunflower. Sunflower is a very useful and good crop from where we can collect the oil, isn't that? Then brassica, then apple, pear, in all those crop fields, if nearby that we have the bee or honeybee, any hive suppose, or suppose we start to breed, then without dual utilization, without suppose we don't have to think much about the crop, also we don't have to think much about the beehive, because both of them are going to help each other. So this thing are very much important to note, that this bee is the natural pollinators of different flowers, different plants. Okay, so obviously the plant production are going to be very much high if nearby that crop field we have the proper beehive or honeybee culture. Then it is going to be increase not only the honey production but also the crop field production also. Okay, now just see, this is one artificial beehive. Okay, so this is the artificial beehive, right? So if you see an artificial beehive, then how many things are here? See, this is actually one wooden box actually. Okay, in that wooden box what we have, the top cover, okay, it's just like a drawer. Next one, then inner cover we can remove like that. Okay, the honeybees cannot move it. Okay, top cover, then inner cover, then the brood chamber, then the bottom board, and they will have the stand. Okay, they were not going to live in the ground, in the soil, so obviously they need to have a distance from the soil, so that's why they have the stand, right? Now on that bottom board they will have some small holes, so that from that hole only the worker bees are the smallest honeybee, so only the worker bees can come out and enter inside the beehive, but not the queen bee. So we have to insert the queen bee into the brood chamber. Once we just inserted the queen bee, which already got fertilized. So one gravid means fertilized. Okay, gravid queen. Okay, that gravid queen we have to insert into the brood chamber so that it cannot come out, right? Then after that, whenever the female is there in the brood chamber, then what will happen? Along with that, the drones as well as the worker bees, they will also enter. So we will allow to enter from this bottom board. Okay, they will enter, they will pass through it, and after that they will start to live in the inner cover and the top cover, right? So in the inner cover and top cover we need to make the normal home-like feeling, that we have to make the hexagonal chamber, so that, and also make a wax coating so that they think that this is their natural beehive. So the worker bees and the drones, they will start to live in the top cover and the inner cover, and this worker bees, they will start to collect the honey. So they will come from this, okay, from the beneath, they will go collect the honey and come out and once again start to fill the honey in that top cover, in that chambers. And once that chamber is filled with honey, they will make the chamber sealed with the wax. Okay, so this way what will happen, they will start to fill. So what we can do, they remove that box, okay, then separate. Suppose this is the box, then we can just separate out the honey. Then after that we will once again insert that inner cover inside that beehive. So every time that worker bees, they will think that yes, it is not filled, so they will go and collect the nectar. So that's why the beehive, if it is artificial, this is going to be very much useful, okay, for our commercial point of view. That means without killing the honeybees. Okay, normally what happen, if naturally some honey beehives we want to collect the honey, then inside the hexagonal chambers or inside the beehive, that honeybees, they die. Okay, they die inside that, or maybe they move to another area and make another beehive somewhere away. Okay, but in this, we are this is very much, it's not being inhuman. Okay, we can collect the honey also without destroying any of the honeybees. So this is a good method, good way to collect the honey without disturbing or without killing the honeybees, right? So in the top cover and in the inner cover, the worker bees are there. They will collect the honey. They will store the honey in that inner cover and the top cover. They are going to live there in that area, as well as in the brood chamber. You can see this is the green colored brood chamber where the queen is going to lay the eggs, and the eggs are going to be stored in a different one small hexagonal chamber. And if you need to suppose move that beehive from one location to the another location, then also it is possible. We have to block only that small holes in that bottom board, and after that you can transfer it into another area. So it is not going to hamper, they are not going to sting you, and they will be locked inside. But once you just change the location into another area, maybe suppose there we have sunflower or brassica or apple, then once again you remove that seed from that bottom board, and after that they will collect the honey from that place also. Right, so what is that? This is one artificial beehive. So this is also very much important, and these 5 points we have to know. These points you need to know for the successful beekeeping. This question came number of time in your board exams. So these things we have to know. This time it is also going to be very much important, because last time the question came from fishery. So this time maybe in boards question will come from this beekeeping. So this is going to be very much important. So let's just see those things. See this one, this also is very much important. You can draw this. Okay, so let's just move to the next part. Now after that, see the social organization of honeybee, right? So what is the social organization of honeybee? The honeybee actually have a proper caste system. Okay, so what is that caste system? See, if it is in case of human, we have Brahman, Shudra, isn't that? But in case of them, they, in real sense, they have caste differentiation. That means they look different. Their chromosome numbers are different. Their functions are different. Their lifespan also is different. Okay. So what is it? See, first of all, if it is in case of a beehive, we are going to see 3 varieties of honeybee. One is the largest queen, okay, which is the female. Next one is the drone. Drone means it is the male, okay, and the workers are basically the sterile female. Okay, so female and male. Males are known as drones, and female, if it is fertile, will be known as queen. If it is sterile, it will be known as worker bees, right? So just see the first thing. What is the first difference? That in case of the queen bees, they are found in only one beehive. So obviously this queen is going to rule the whole beehive. So there will be only one queen in one beehive. So this is the first point you need to know. If it comes to the drones, then drones are around 200 to 300 in a beehive. And if it is the worker bees, then majority. Okay, so one thing we need to know, that in one beehive, how many queen, drone and workers together are found? See, it will vary from 30,000 to 70,000. Okay, so average there are 50,000 honeybees are found in one beehive. Okay, there will be only one queen, okay, around 200 to 300 only drones, and remaining everything, okay, like 49,700 or 800, they will be worker bees. Okay, workers bees are majority in number. Okay, next thing, they are the largest. If it comes to the queen are the largest. If you see, then it's visible also from outside. Also the abdomen is larger. Okay, they will be the queen. And if it is drone, they are smaller and they will have a somewhat elongated structure. And the workers, they're the smallest one. right? So this is the second difference. Third difference, that the queens are the diploid fertile female. This point is going to be very much important. I will tell you actually how they will be formed, born, okay, hatched from the egg. Okay, so first thing you need to know that they are diploid. Okay, the workers are diploid, but the drones, they are haploid. Okay, what is the chromosome number of honeybee? That is around, not around exactly. In case of the honeybee, they have 32 chromosomes, right? And 32 chromosomes will be there in queen and the workers, and 16 chromosomes will be there in case of drones, right? So just see, they're haploid fertile male, they're the drones, and then diploid sterile will be the female. Okay, so this is the next point. Fourth point, that it feeds on the royal jelly. Okay, so royal jelly is different from the honey, right? So what is honey? Honey is developed from the nectar, right? So this is honey. Whenever the worker bees collect the nectar, then this nectar they are going to take it inside their abdomen. Okay, it mixes with the saliva, it mixes with the enzyme, then after coming to their beehive, they will just vomit. Okay, and that vomit is the honey, right? Then how it is different from the jelly? Okay, honey is only purely nectar, okay, mixed with the digestive enzyme and the saliva. That vomit will be known as honey. But if that worker feeds both the nectar as well as the pollen grain, okay, so that pollen grain and the nectar inside their abdomen will convert into royal jelly. Okay, so royal jelly will have another component. Okay, so it is obviously highly rich in nutrient also, because it is going to have the extraction of the pollen grain too, right? So queen are going to feed only the royal jelly. The female will be provided with the royal jelly, will be converted into a queen. Okay, but in case of drones and the worker bees, if it is the smaller, then they're going to have only and only the honey. Okay, they will be provided with only honey. They're going to feed on that. Next one, this point is also going to be very much important. What is that? In case of queen, their stings are converted into a ovipositor. Okay, so in the abdomen region, towards the posterior region, they have the sting. So that sting is properly functional in case of the worker bees, but in case of the queen, in case of the queens, it is not properly helping any another functions except the reproduction. Just except to laying eggs, the queen will not perform any another function, right? So that's why what will happen, that's why they don't have any function for the defense, so that's why they don't have to sting. Okay, so have to have a sting, so they are converting their sting into a ovipositor, right? In case of drones, they also don't have to protect their beehive, so their wax gland, which is producing the wax in the hexagonal chambers of the beehive, it is also not present in the drones. So drones will have only one function: rest in the beehive and take nuptial flight with the queen. To only mate with the queen, the drones are surviving. Once reproduction is completed, suppose in the nuptial flight, then the drone which fertilized, which have mated with the queen, is not allowed to come back. Okay, come back to the beehive. So that's why the drones outside the beehive, they cannot produce their own food. They cannot not produce their own food, that cannot take another food. They will not be provided with honey. So obviously without food, without shelter, the drones are going to die, right? And if it is in case of workers, this point is going to be very much important, that sting is a very important thing, that it is converting into a poison gland. Okay, poison producing part. Okay, it is present in the 2 to 5th segment of the abdomen. Okay, of the abdomen it is present. And the next one, mouth. The mouth of the workers, they're converting to suck the nectar, and their legs are converting to collect the pollen. In the legs, actually they will have a sac-like structure. So that sac is specially made, evolved to take the pollen grains, right? So this is a very important modifications in their body, right? So you just need to remember mouth to suck the nectar. Okay, so the mouth will be converting into a siphoning, that means a round siphoning type of mouth part they have, which is specially designed to suck the nectar. Okay, and their legs, they are just specially designed to actually collect the pollen grain, right? So this is also another point. Next one, in case of the queen, the queens are fertilized egg develop into a female. Okay, so there are two types of eggs are produced by the queens. What are they? One is fertilized egg, another is unfertilized egg. Fertilized egg will convert into a female and unfertilized egg will convert into a male, right? Now we have the female offsprings and the male offsprings. Male offsprings will convert into a drone. What will happen to the female offspring? Just from the 100 eggs, suppose from the 100 eggs around 40 to 40 eggs, okay, they will remain unfertilized, they will convert itself into a drone. Okay, if it is the suppose around 60, suppose 60 of the eggs they get fertilized, from that 55 of them they will be converted into a worker. Remaining 5, what it is going to convert itself? It is going to convert itself into a queen. And how it will be converting into a queen? See, they will be provided with the royal jelly. This is the first thing. Then the one female which is now grown, they will start to release one type of chemical, actually one anti-queen substance, actually one hormonal like substance. So one anti-queen substance is released from their body, which prevent the other females to convert itself into a queen. Okay, so one of the female, okay, 1 or 3/4 of the female will release the anti-queen substance, so that nearby their suppose nearby them, if suppose some another females are growing, that females will be converted itself into a sterile worker. Why? Because they're getting the anti-queen substance. Okay, so whoever is releasing the anti-queen substance, okay, whoever is releasing the anti-queen substance, they're provided with the royal jelly, they will turn greenish and turn itself into a queen. Okay, the another one which is getting the anti-queen substance, their sting, they will not able to develop the ovipositor, rather their sting is now converting itself. Their mouth part will change, their leg part will change, their abdomen will develop into a wax gland, okay, sting, poison gland. Then they will develop the actually pollen sac like structure, where they can collect the pollen grain in the hind leg. Okay, so this is what happening actually during the casteism. That means whenever they are just hatched, right from them, that time period, the unfertilized one will be converted into drone. But in between the females, there will be a competition. Which one is releasing the anti-queen substance, they will be converting into a queen, and another one will convert into a worker. Now, suppose in that beehive, suppose 4 of the female will convert into a queen. Okay, then after that what will happen? After that, what will happen? Each queen, because in one beehive there will be only one queen. Okay, I told already there will be only one queen in one beehive. So what will happen if suppose from the offsprings, suppose 3 or 4 of them become the queen? So what they are going to do, that one queen will take some of the workers, some of the drones, and fly away from that beehive, construct their beehive by their own. Okay, so this way actually their generation will proceed. Okay, right, remember that. Next one, the egg hatch in 15 to 16 days, and after that it will convert itself into a queen. Okay, if it comes to the drones are going to hatch in 24 to 25th day, and if it is worker, then within very short period of time they will convert into a worker within 4 to 5 days. If it comes to the lifespan, then around 2 to 5 years one queen is going to survive, right? If it is coming to the drones generally will survive for 2 months, okay, maximum 2 months, but Within the 2 months, if somehow the drone copulate with the queen, they're not allowed to come back to the beehive. So without food, without shelter, they're going to die. Okay. Next one, lifespan of the worker, they're around 4 to 5 only months. Okay. Why? See, because they are properly developed into worker. What are the functions they are functioning? They are the constructor. Okay. They are making the hive. Okay. They are also the fanners. Okay, fanner means they will properly make our aeration so that the young ones can survive, so that in the beehive the temperature can be cooled down. Next one, they are the collectors also, because their chief function is to collect the honey so that everyone can be fed. Okay, so in that, see, 50,000 of the honeybees are surviving. So obviously, for the 50,000 honeybees, they have to collect the honey as well as royal jelly too. So they are the collectors. They are also the defensors. That means if they suppose somebody are trying to take the honey, or there is a snake, there is a bird coming towards their beehive, then this worker bees, some of the worker bees are transforming, they actually transform into like an army. They, with the help of the sting, they will release the toxin into the predator's body, and this predator's body is getting paralyzed. They will swell, and they sometime, if it is a bird, small snake, they will die. Okay, so yeah, there are the differences between the queen, drone and the workers. Let's just move to the next part. Hope you have understood the differences. Differences are very much important, interesting also, isn't it? One more thing I need to tell you, that if it comes to the worker bees are performing a very unique function. What is that function? See, whenever they go for the collection of the honey, okay, then see, whenever they want to go in search of suppose a crop field, then 4 or 5 of them will go and in search of a good crop field, suppose. But whenever they get to know that yes, there is a crop field where the flowers are already there, blooming there, then all of the 49,000 worker bees will come together and collect the nectar and pollen grains. So how this is happening? Because in between the workers there is a communication, there is some type of language they have. Okay, so what type of language they have? See, they actually perform 2 type of dances. So one is round dance and another is waggle dance. Okay, so what is this round dance and wagging dance? R-O-U-N-D, round dance and wagging dance. So what is the round dance and wagging dance? See, if suppose the source of the food, that means the crop field, is within 75 meter, okay, within 75 meter, okay, within 75 meter, then they will just make a round dance like this. Okay, they will perform round dance, and after that the other worker bees get to know that yes, there is a source of food within 75 meter. Then all of them together in swarms, they will go and collect the honey, right? If the source of food is away 75 meter, okay, then they will perform away 75 meter, that means within 125 meter range. Then they will perform the another dance at a figure of 8 like this. Okay, so they will perform waggle dance. Okay, so they will have a wagging dance like this at a figure of 8, so that the worker bees will understand now the source of food is away 75 meters. All of them, they will go collect the nectar from it. Okay, so the scientist Carl Frisch, someone, he actually got the Nobel Prize for just discovering the communication of the worker bees. There are the 2 dances, round dance and waggle dance. Okay, so that is about the 3 caste system of the worker bees. After that, let's just move to the next part. So after that, let us see the scientist who got the Nobel Prize for decoding the dance. See, Carl von Frisch. Okay, Carl von Frisch got the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1973 for the decode the dance of honeybee. Okay, so this is also sometime may become. Okay, so this is the important thing, he got a Nobel Prize for it. Okay, in medicine. In which field? In medicinal field. And what's the reason why? For the discovery of the dance, round dance and wagging dance. Okay, now after that, see what is honey. Honey is a sugary syrup which is taken as a tonic, laxative or a sweetening agent. Okay, now what are the composition? What is the composition of honey? Okay, it is nearly neutral because it is going to have highest level of water. Okay, around 17 to 25% it is water, 3.3% minerals are there, and abundant of vitamins like vitamin B1, B6, C and D vitamin that is present. Along with that, it is going to have the sugar, carbohydrate content, that is levofructose, L-fructose. From that, C, levulose is 41%, glucose is 35%, sucrose is 1.9%. Okay, and dextrin is 1.5%. Okay, so that is the thing, composition of honey. So this is important. Now after that, let's just see, I told you that how actually what is the chromosomes. Okay, so let's just see the chromosomal pattern of the honeybee, right? So first thing, see, suppose this is one female, okay, and this is the male, right? So female have the chromosome number 32. So the chromosome number is 32 in case of female, and in case of male it is 16. So this is very much important thing, that the chromosomes are going to vary. In case of male, they are haploid. That's why they are called as haploid, because it is going to have only one from the one set. But the female is going to have the two set, completely two sets. Now this 32, suppose that gamete. Okay, so how this gamete will be produced? Obviously by meiosis. So by meiosis it is producing the gametes, right? But if it is in case of the male cannot undergo meiosis, isn't that? So it will undergo normal mitosis, okay, to produce the gamete. Obviously it is also going to have 16 chromosome. But in case of female, whenever gametogenesis occurs, then reduction division occurs only. But in case of male, what happened? It is produced by the process, actually this is known as parthenogenesis. Okay, and in case of animals, it is given one term that is known as archenotochy. Okay, so just see, if the male and the female gamete fuse, okay, suppose male and the female gamete fuse, then obviously in that zygote, how many chromosomes are going to present? That is going to be 32 chromosome, isn't that? But some of the gametes, they will remain unfertilized. So if it remain unfertilized, then what will happen? It is going to have the 16 chromosome only, isn't that? So here this one will be the unfertilized egg, right? So this unfertilized egg, they are going to have 16 chromosome, and the fertilized egg, so these are going to be the fertilized egg. So fertilized egg is going to have 32 chromosome. Now from this unfertilized egg, what I said, this unfertilized egg, what will happen? The male is going to produce. Okay, the drones are going to hatch. Okay, drone is going to form. And if it is from the fertilized egg, what will happen? The females are going to develop. Okay, and from the females, what happened? From the females, suppose from 60 eggs, 5 of them they will convert into a queen. Okay, and remaining 55 of the eggs, fertilized egg, will be a worker. Why? Because some of the females are releasing what? Antiquin substance, isn't that, or some antiquin pheromones, so that it can prevent the other females from developing the ovipositor. So that's why the other females, after getting the antiquin substance, it will convert into a sterile female. That are the workers. Okay, so these are the females itself. So the male drone is going to have 16 chromosome, queen is going to have 32 chromosome, and workers are also going to have 32 chromosomes. But the males are they are fertile, the queen are fertile, but the workers are sterile. Okay, so yeah, that's all about the apiculture, honeybee, how it is cultured, reared, beehive, artificial beehive, everything I told, social pattern, their caste system, everything I told. Hope you have understood. So if you remember only this thing, it is more than enough up to NEET level. Okay, in the board level already I have completed, as well as for the NEET level also I have given as much as the knowledge I can give you. So that's all about the apiculture. So that's all about the topic beekeeping. Thank you.